George Washington was one of the founding fathers of the United States. Without his efforts both on and off the battlefield, America would not be the country it is today. Yet this was very nearly the case, as Washington faced almost certain death at the Battle of Monongahela. In July of 1755, at the beginning of the French and Indian War, British forces led by General Edward Braddock were attacked 10 miles east of the present-day city of Pittsburgh. The largely outnumbered French and Indian soldiers still managed to deal a crushing defeat to the British in the favored terrain of the wooded Indian hunting grounds. Among the 1,300 British soldiers was a rearguard of Virginians, led by a young Colonel George Washington. Washington helped coordinate a retreat of the surviving British soldiers. Commissioned officers were the primary targets for gunfire, and 2 of Washington's horses were shot out from under him as he remained exposed to almost continuous gunfire. Just over a week later, Washington wrote a letter to his brother John, where he recounted that, "By the all-powerful dispensations of Providence, I have been protected beyond all human probability or expectation. For I had 4 bullets through my coat, and 2 horses shot under me, yet escaped unhurt, although death was leveling my companions on every side of me." Almost 16 years later, in October 1770, Washington was traveling to the Ohio River Valley. His personal physician, Dr. James Craik, was present and attested to an encounter between Washington and a local Indian leader, Chief Red Hawk. An interpreter stepped forward and informed Washington that the chief was a very great man among the northwestern tribes, and the same who commanded the Indians on the fall of Braddock 16 years before. Through his interpreter, Red Hawk went on to tell Washington how his warriors were ordered to target him directly, but upon witnessing that none of their shots had any effect, and believing that a great spirit was protecting him, they reportedly ceased fire. Red Hawk himself claimed to have shot at Washington 11 times without success. He then said of Washington that he will become the chief of nations, and a people yet unborn will hail him as a father of a mighty empire. Was Washington miraculously protected? Had he died that day in July 1755, would the world we live in today be a different place? Would the United States of America still have risen to prominence without this founding father? When General Edward Braddock died of his wounds a few days after the battle, he uttered some of his last words in Washington's ear, rhetorically asking, "Who would have thought?" Indeed, who would have thought that a young colonel in the British forces would be miraculously preserved during the defeat suffered at Monongahela, to then later lead the way in bringing about the most powerful nation the world has ever seen. I'm Jonathan Riley for Tomorrow's World Viewpoint. To subscribe to our channel, click here. To access articles, telecasts, and booklets from Tomorrow's World, visit our website at twcanada.org. At a time when national leaders around the world are plagued by scandals or claims of corruption, we can look back in history to find better examples, such as that of John A. Macdonald.